Welcome to another Nature's Glory Cabin Off-Road. Today we're doing what I call the best of Spas Creek. I combined 1223 and 1227 rides. And for another Friends and Followers ride, this is our regular route for Spas Creek. This shows Callie's Campground all the way up to 713 in Menifee County. And that's how we get started. You can do your GPS to get to the beginning of Spas Creek. And here we are taken out of the Slade welcome area with a couple of riders from the 1223. We'll pick up a little later and get the 1227 folks involved. And here we're just taking a little break and had to check radio reception. We're having a little radio trouble. That way you got a good picture of all of us together there. And they just kind of swapped. We put him in the middle in the green Bronco because he was having the radio trouble, and we'll stop again and work on that. This is the beginning of Spas Creek, just a photo, and there's a photo at the end of Spas Creek with the other group. And here we go. We're just going to start off with all the fun stuff, and that's all we're going to do in this video. This is the first little rise and drop into a mud hole. It had been still pretty dry around this time. Here we are going through, and we're going to show everybody else coming through this mud hole also. Here comes the Bronco. I believe he said it was a Sasquatch edition. I think he said he did have front and rear lockers, and I don't remember 35s or 37s. But he's pretty well equipped. Here comes the JK. This is before he got his lockers. And we'll see in a little bit how he spins a tire or two. And here comes the XJ that's with us. This is the 1227 ride, folks, here. But you can't hardly tell the difference. The woods all look the same. He's on 33s with the XJ. People that are with us is DJ, Cody and his family. This is Dwayne and his family. And we have JT coming up from behind here in his JK. He's on pretty well. He got all terrains and no traction devices. We saw him a little later, and he ended up having a winch already, so he'd already started doing improvements. Nobody had any trouble there, right up and over. So here we're going to go up and around the tree now, and we'll see some tires spinning here and there and enjoy it. And now we got a little camcorder video of me coming up and around that. Notice how I stayed to the left of that stump. That's the best way, but you can clear that stump pretty easily anyway, so it doesn't really hurt anything. Dropping into the mud hole can cause you some traction problems, depending on how you're equipped. Nobody really has much trouble with this obstacle. Going down the other side, you'll see a little more trouble because it's a little steeper. I've seen vehicles with longer wheelbase have trouble with corners of the plastic bumpers. They don't get far enough to the left or don't have a good enough departure angle. Notice a little spinning tire action there. He's going to have to take another run at it, I think, in a second. No traction devices, so once you get a tire off the ground, you don't have enough flex. I don't believe they unhooked any sway bars. You don't necessarily have to for this ride. A little bit more momentum, and looks like he's going to get it. Yep, right through it. I did speed this up just a little bit, but not a lot. You can probably saw it better there when you saw somebody talking. It looked like they were talking kind of fast. That was where you saw the speed up. The rest of it looks pretty good on the trail. Here comes the XJ. Stay to the left of the stump, no problem. Excuse me, the stump stayed to the left, he stayed to the right. And you see going down here, that will drop off. It's kind of sharp there. Stock vehicles have more trouble than anybody else does there. That is no lift. Now this JK doesn't have any traction devices either, but he does have experience off-road, and he has all-terrain tires. He's trying to get up it as well. Just a little momentum is all you really need. If you've never done these trails, I'd suggest you go with somebody the first time, and I usually get out and walk them and show it to the folks that have never done them so they can see what they're getting into, because you get up aiming yourself straight up in the air, you can't see what's in front of you. See, he went over top of the stump. That's just the best way that his got over. If you notice, it didn't have any problem. That stump's actually cut pretty close to the ground. And notice the tire coming off the ground there. This is that sharp, steep spot. He's a little bit far to the right. But he got right down it, no problem. Didn't hit any plastic bumper corners. Now we're going to see some mud hole action as we drive through Paul's Creek. Paul's Creek has a lot of mud and water. I just picked out some of the deeper ones to highlight those. And I switch back and forth from my 1223 group to the 1227 group. It's almost indistinguishable, the scenery is. And as we continue on through, more mud holes. And if you notice, this is the other group now coming through the water. I tried to get those same scenery for both of those shots. I think I did a pretty decent job of it. If you folks ride with us, if you want to be better on camera, you might need to stay just a touch closer, and that rear camera will pick you up better. Obviously, we have to be careful when we go through obstacles, and I'll let you know where those are when we have to really make sure we put a little separation in between. There's that log I keep talking about. Eventually it's going to be in the water. Somebody's going to have to move it out unless we can find a way to shove it a little further back. The water is eroding the dirt around it, and it's just got a little sliver holding it in place. What you don't see on camera here is there's a creek running along the driver's side where we're driving along next to it. You can't see it on the camera, but it's pretty scenic. Got some pretty nice scenery, some nice places to stop and take pictures if you like to take pictures for that kind of thing. And when we get more rain, there's even more water. A lot of these holes, though, don't get but just so deep. They got good solid bottoms in them. They run off. They have areas where they just run off. This little spot here is a little flexy spot. You can't really see it in the camera on the left side of your screen. You might see it as the XJ comes up through here, and it might be able to see how it flexes. There's the left tire pushed up, and there's a hole here at the end. It negotiated that, no problem. And here comes the very stock JK. He has a little more trouble with it, but he's experienced off-roader, so he got through it fairly easy. If you notice it picking up a tire, that can happen. And here we're driving away from it. Didn't get any video of the other folks coming through there, but we're going to start this big mud hole right after we get past there. Just so everybody knows, I put description, things down in the description about the Jeep, things I have it equipped with, and a pretty good description of the area sometimes. And I have 33s and a 3 1/4 inch lift right now. Most of everybody here is on around 33s, about the same except for the Bronco. He's running a little bit bigger tire and pretty minimal lifts. I think the stock JK doesn't have any lift, but I don't think anybody has over a 4-inch lift. This is relatively deep water here. The other group already went through it, and here comes the next group. I say relatively deep. We're talking up to the bumper on a stock vehicle. It's not real deep. It's probably 16 to 20 inches or so deep. It doesn't get up to the bottom of the door where it'll come in or anything like that. This is just another crossing that I caught. Just got a decent close-up of the vehicles here. And now we're at this is just a little dirt drop off that you've probably seen my other videos. You see how we go over that. I go pretty well straight over it. I've got a pretty good breakover angle, and let's see how everybody else does it. And here that is from the rear. Kind of give a little idea of how much of a drop off it is. And here comes the Bronco. You can go off to the right side if you want to and not make it quite as much of a breakover angle, less chance of dragging, and that's what they did there. They went off to the passenger side a little bit further, a little more off camber, but a lot less worry about dragging. Here comes the JK. I think he has 35-inch tires actually, now that I think about it, and about a 4-inch lift. And if you notice, he had pretty good brake over there, had plenty of room underneath the rock rails. That was his wife driving. I didn't catch that at first. And here comes JT in the fairly stock JK. If you notice, he didn't have any trouble. A lot of times vehicles don't have much lift will drag their hitch on that mud. Doesn't cause any problems at all. Just get a little mud, take a little real estate home with you. Here comes the XJ, and I think he goes straight over it, and he doesn't have any trouble. Looks like it got close there. He's on 33s with about a 3-inch lift, I believe. Then right after we get done with that, we're heading toward the chute. Here I go, coming up the chute. You have to be careful here, just line yourself up because it is fairly tight and you don't want to scrape either side of your vehicle on it. There's plenty of room. I've even seen full-size, large pickup trucks go through it. Do need to make sure you get square with it and don't get too far one side or the other. Bigger vehicles can definitely use a spotter. A lot of the smaller vehicles don't have near as much trouble. If you're riding with me, I'll make sure you get through it straight. Everybody gets up this without any trouble, really. This is not an undercut. It's got a little bit of a positive angle to it. It doesn't have an undercut, so most people get right on up it. Just get right up to it and push over it. I guess if you had a vehicle that didn't have enough approach angle, you might get a bumper into it. Nobody with us had any problem today. Sometimes if you don't give it enough bump, you will kind of get hung there because you are on an uphill angle, and you might have to give it a little bit more back up a hair and get moving. He had a touch of a second there and then got right up it. Here comes the XJ, short workout of it, right on. I generally instruct most people to give it a little bit of a bump when you get to that, because it can be positive. If you have a bigger tires, it just crawls up a lot easier. This is the big mud hole toward the end of spas. I say big because depending, it can be a lot deeper than this. You see I dropped in, it's a pretty good drop off, and it got to about, it's one spot there right up to the winch. It can be deeper. It had been dry for the most part all the way through December. And here that is from the rear. You can see how deep it can get, but it has a runoff, so it's not going to get but just so deep. I didn't have video of everybody going through this. This is the second group. This is the only time we had the video. Here comes the fairly stock JK coming through here. No lift. I believe he does have, I think, 33-inch all-terrain tires on it. You see his bumper going into the water there. And you can see when you're done later, it got over it a little bit. See where the mud line goes. You can see how deep you were. And the XJ is going to finish us out here. Just take it easy, dropping over into it, and then just ease it on down. Again, that's all mud, so it's not going to do anything but get a little dirt in your hitch. I hope everybody's enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and come back again.